When Russian invasion began in Ukraine, President Zelensky was uncooperative. He promised to defend every portion of Ukraine. But now he is open to compromise. He is open to give up his quest for NATO membership. So, what exactly changed in 2 weeks? In simple words, Zelensky got a taste of reality. The conventional wisdom is that he speaks the same language. Zelensky grossly miscalculated these three things. He overestimated Western support, he oversold Ukraine's importance to the West, and he misread Putin's real intentions. Firstly, Zelensky knows that the Ukraine is no match for Russia, and it was obvious then too. For the people analyzing the situation know that the army, the finances, everything was marked against him. But Zelensky thought that he had a secret weapon, the West, and he had got good reasons to think so. Joe Biden refused to assure Ukraine's neutrality. He refused to retreat the NATO's eastern flank. Instead, he augmented military assistance. He swamped Ukraine with lethal weapons. Undeniably, Biden was helping Ukraine in the war. The question was how invested. See to what Zelensky said on the 1st September last year, weeks before the Russia build-up began. I feel that President Biden, well, not only do I feel, I heard that he personally supports Ukraine on the issue of granting NATO membership, but it's hard for me to tell what the path is going to be like. Let's go back further to April 2021. That was Russia's first military build-up. Back then, Zelensky seemed very confident of America's support. This is what he said: President Biden assured me that Ukraine will never be left alone against Russian aggression. On April 2021, Biden assured that Ukraine will never be left alone. So naturally, Zelensky hoped for immense things. He thought the military aid was just the start, that more help would arrive as always, but he was mistaken. Thus was NATO's maximum limit. They refused to go past that. No army on the ground, no no-fly zones, nothing that would battle them against Russia. Same with sanctions. It's day 14 of the invasion and Europe is still buying Russian oil and gas. The fact is that West led Ukraine on this. They refused to settle, they promised all the support, but when the time came, NATO stood back and watched. Second miscalculation was that Zelensky overestimated Ukraine's importance to the West. It was apparent in his words. He called Ukraine the shield of Europe. These are the words of Zelensky. For 8 years, Ukraine has been a shield. For 8 years, Ukraine has been holding back one of the greatest armies in the world, which stands along our borders, not the borders of the European Union, and the missile systems flew to Mariupol, not to European cities. These events confirm that comprehensive security in Europe is impossible if Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity is not restored. Again, he was incorrect. Ukraine was dispensable for the West. They were not serious about the NATO membership. They were not serious about the sanctions. For them, Ukraine was just a nifty tool, something to irritate Vladimir Putin. That's all. But that useful tool had an expiry date. It was February 24th when Russia invaded, and this has happened before. Back in Afghanistan in 1980s, America funded the Mujahideen to fight the Soviet army. Afghanistan was not strategically important for the West. It was not the main objective was to give the Soviets a bloody nose. Afghanistan was also a handy tool for the Americans. Same with the Georgia. US armed them in the late 2000s. They trained Georgian soldiers. They promised NATO membership in the future. But when war broke out, NATO retreated. Zelensky made that very same blunder. He believed that Ukraine was a key strategic asset for NATO. Unfortunately, he was wrong. For NATO, Ukraine was just another puppet. Third miscalculation was that Zelensky failed to understand Putin's intention. First, this we cannot blame him. Until the very last moment, nobody knew that there would be a war. There would be threats. some the display or threat of military force perhaps, and eventually Russia would pull back. That was a conventional thought. Even as late as January 28, Zelensky did not buy the war mania. This is what he said. The feeling from the media is that we have a war, we have troops on the roads, we have mobilization, people are going somewhere, it doesn't. We don't need this panic. In retrospection, he should have prepared better. He should have considered Putin's proposals more seriously. But by putting oneself at Zelensky's place, we have the world's most powerful military alliance. Promising support, you have fatal weapons pouring in every day. You have promises of unraveled sanctions on Russia. It's not surprising that Zelensky decided to battle. The West promised him sovereignty, but they refused to fight for it, and history will judge him for that. All this Twitter fanfare, all this YouTube glory will disappear. What will remain is this: Ukraine is making the same compromises that Russia first demanded. In fact, more than that, Russia was only demanding neutrality, then no joining the NATO. That's what they wanted. Now they want Zelensky to recognize Donbas and Crimea. The difference is thousands of innocent Ukrainians are now gone. So guys, this was for today. Give us your thoughts on this in the comment section, and if you appreciate our content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with your family and friends. We will meet soon in new video. Thank you. Jai Hind.